All right, welcome back to Boring Reviews. Nick here.
Gabe, the Night Watchman.
And we are checking out another Beatles song today. Actually, it was his idea to do this one, not going to lie. If you've been following our journey, following his journey of listening to the Beatles songs for the very first time on this channel, he has had very, very mixed reviews on these videos, negative responses to most of them, these songs. But he says that they released a new song, and I said the Beatles... two of the members have been passed away for quite some time now. The Beatles have been together since 1970 or something like that. How is that possible? The song is called Now and Then. According to Wikipedia, it was released just yesterday officially, but it's been on there for a few days on YouTube. It appeared on a double A side single paired with the new mix of the band's first single, Love Me Do, and the two serving as bookends to the band's history, blah, blah, blah. So it says it's a psychedelic rock ballad. John Lennon wrote it in 1977 on as a solo piano home demo.
Right.
So I know they had some new songs from Michael Jackson a few years ago.
Right.
When after he had passed away, and those were just things that he had never released himself,
right,
that needed to be cleaned up, needed to be produced. And I forget the guy's name. What's his name? He produced Pink or whatever. He did it and released it, and it was a big hit.
Was it
bunch of the songs on there?
Quincy?
No, not Quincy Jones. It was another guy. He goes like a first name and the last letter initial. I forget his name. He was on different TV shows as well as a producer. But anyways, we're gonna check out Now and Then. I don't understand how this song comes about. Maybe it's an amalgamation of different things. Maybe it's a song they recorded 50, 60 years ago and just never got released. But it was his idea.
Let me first tell you that I hate your guts. Because I've gone down the rabbit hole. And you know me. I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theory, okay? Mr. Conspiracy Theory. And last time, yes, we do read the comments, we had reacted to a Beatles song and we talked about the Paul McCartney situation or whatnot, that he had died or whatnot. And somebody was like, in the comments, what do you mean, Nick? You didn't know that, whatever. The funny part is that album... That's part of the conspiracy theory. Dude, I spent like 4 hours. It just got on there, like watching documentary after documentary on YouTube. 4 hours later, about how he didn't have shoes on in that one, and everybody did, because in some cultures, not having shoes on, I guess they were like, it was a Middle Eastern or Eastern culture or whatever.
Or he just decided not to wear shoes that day.
You know what I mean? But then, how the face even changed over time or whatnot. And they're like the conspiracy theories that they have plastic surgery, even though, dude, plastic surgery today looks atrocious. Have you seen what some of these celebrities, when they get plastic surgery, look like?
I don't believe it for a second.
But, there was this, bottom line is, and again, haven't spent so many hours of my life on it. Bottom line is, I guess there was a big blow up, and I didn't realize there was so much contention with the Beatles, because their music is so poppy and fun-loving, and usually, for the most part, other than like, well, my guitar gently weaves at, from what I've heard anyway, but most of the ones you played for me are always pop. But there was like a lot of contention, and I guess because John Lennon and Yoko Ono, when she came in, she thought she was the fifth member of the group, and they weren't having it, so she was trying to have control on what stuff. And I guess Paul McCartney got upset during one late night recording session, so he took off in his Aston Martin driving. Supposedly he picks up some chick and he slams into a light post. Here's the great gruesome part: he was decapitated. That's what they say. And the lady didn't make it after either. So then the Beatles were like, when they got the news, first of all, how do you keep that quiet? You don't keep it quiet. What they buy off? The coroners, the police station, the hospital, everyone? You can't keep that quiet, man. Like, listen, even back then, somebody would have known, like, okay, no, he was not going to...
And overnight, they found it looked like they did plastic surgery and all this kind of stuff.
Then, apparently, he was in, like, hiding Paul McCartney for a while, so they didn't know if it was really him, and they added fuel to fire. But his thing was like, look, any publicity is good publicity. They can say what they want to say. Did you know Paul McCartney had a younger brother who had a band? And he came here to the States, and he came to a show that, because they invited him, that they were going to let him play. They were just grilling him about, when's the last time you saw Paul? And then he had a fuel to the fire, was like, I guess at his funeral. Like, and it was like, because he kept telling them, no, he's alive, guys, it's a rumor. So I guess we also, here in the States, our DJs picked up on it, and they even started the whole backwards, and you've heard of that before. If you play the song backwards, there's some subliminal messages in there, or Paul is dead, or whatever. That's where it started. Fun fact, Tupac had the Shook Shot Me in the back of the Machiavelli album if you played it backwards. You know how hard it is to get a vinyl a Dick's player. I literally bought a vinyl disc because of whatever. You couldn't do it with the CD. It had to be the vinyl record so that you could hear the chick shot me. And all you hear is that.
Yeah. Exactly.
You don't hear anything. Exactly. You don't hear anything. But I wanted to hear it.
Exactly.
With that being said, dude, it is such a man. Dude, from different things of the new person, like they would drop like, and I think it was the Beatles, like let's have fun with it, because then the person that they said took over for Paul McCartney, I forget the guy's name. They named one of their songs that the guy's name is in the song. So like they were like, I guess just egging it on, and no publicity is bad publicity. I get. Let us know in the comments if you guys know any more about that. He's not a believer. I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, but even I gotta say, guys, it would be a hard thing to hide one of the biggest stars internationally at the time from the Beatles' death. I mean, think about it. According to the conspiracy theory, car accident, his Aston Martin would have been destroyed. Are there pictures of the Aston Martin actually being destroyed? There would have been a police report, hospital, morgue. So many people you would have to keep quiet.
After the Beatles, Paul McCartney started the band Wings with his then wife, Linda McCartney, I think. And they never got as big as the Beatles, but they had their nice little run. They had some hits. And they just found a guy that happened to be a great songwriter and singer and guitarist, all that kind of stuff. Now and Then is a great title for it because, again, I think they're remastering some of the old stuff.
Right.
So this is going to be like a little way of being able to
now, aren't these the guys that had the most contention in the group, John Lennon and Paul McCartney?
Yeah, because they were the two songwriters. They were the two...
so George Harrison wasn't like...
George Harrison wrote a few of their songs, but it was Lennon McCartney. They're known in history as probably the best songwriters of all time.
You want to know a fun fact? I found this out during the rabbit hole. There was actually 6 members to the Beatles. Did you know that?
I know James Taylor played like backup for this or that. He's his own singer-songwriter in his own right, had some good hits or whatever. Didn't know about the 6th.
There was
I'm not sure
2 members in the beginning. It was 6 of them, and the 2 members bailed out and said, this isn't working out. Bad decision. Could you imagine being that dude? Could you imagine being the guy that said, yeah, I don't see this band going anywhere. I'm out.
Well, they were in Liverpool for crying out loud.
Dude, can you imagine?
No.
Oh, God, being that person that said, the guy that said, yeah, you guys aren't good songwriters, and Ringo, you like Ringo to my, I guess what people say, he just kind of was the third wheel, right, or the fourth wheel, because even, Harrison wrote songs, and he was more, but Ringo Starr, I guess, was like just the hanger on. Let me be the hanger on, You know what I mean? But the other 2 bailed out. And they missed out on the glory.
Ringo Starr, he sang a few of the songs too, but yeah, absolutely. So we're going to check this out. Let us know what you think about our reaction. Please don't forget to
like and subscribe.
And I haven't heard this yet, so it'll be new for both of us. Here we go.
1, 2.
It's all because of you. And if I make it through, it's all
to say? Is it going to say, Paul is dead?
Well, funny thing, we're going to talk about that for a second. Did you just hear that at the end?
What did he say?
Apparently, I don't know what he said, but apparently that's another reason why, like, at the end of their songs, like, they would just, like, be done recording, and sometimes somebody would be in the background and just blurt out something just nonsense or whatnot. They were a lot like innovators. They were one of the first ones that started ending one song to go directly into another one's or whatnot. And that was with that one song. I can't remember the guy's name. Oh gosh, who was the guy that supposedly replaced Paul McCartney? His name was, he had a really interesting name. Dude, it's driving me crazy now. But yeah, that right there. Now, if you play it backwards, you're gonna hear something different or whatever. And that's where a lot of that stuff. They were innovators with even their songs and the way they because I think the name of the album was, if I hear the name, I'll remember exactly who they think replaced them.
I'm just gonna keep looking right here. It just says a look-alike so far, but yeah.
But in any event, dude, it's crazy. Like, first and foremost, you said John Lennon wrote this song, and that was pretty much him on the vocals. I want to know your opinion of it, but I like their ballads. I like their slower stuff first, like the last song you played for me. You said that George Harrison wrote that one as well. I didn't know. The one song, Here Comes the Sun. And that Here Comes the Sun is also tied up in the whole conspiracy theory, by the way. They did mention that song, now that I remember. Here Comes the Sun. It was from that White Album or whatnot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to me because the only song I'd ever heard about the Beatles before this was While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and that's because my roommate Ryan in college used to play it all the time. While My Guitar Gently. So that's why I expected more of the Beatles to be like the more ballad, the clean sound. That's what I like. The older poppy stuff, the more, slower 2-minute song, the jingle kind of, or I don't even know, folky kind, that I don't enjoy. But the last two, at least, Here Comes the Sun, and this one, which is a brand new release, I really enjoyed. And I know this is John Lennon, not a McCartney or George Harrison,
Beatles,
but it's slower. It's the more ballady. The kind of, it reminds me of While My Guitar Gently Weeps, actually. And I enjoyed it. I mean, I want to know your opinion, but yeah.
I can see why it wasn't previously released. And I listened to it one time. I really like the music. I don't know, because it sounded like, just from the short description we read,
right,
that he had the piano, probably the demo recorded. He probably didn't have all the others, so that was probably recently done right now in modern times.
Right.
But I'm sure it stemmed off of what he had on the piano written. I like the music a lot. The first half kind of made me think, like, this could be like a James Bond theme song. Like, the movies always have these kind of elaborate musical pieces.
Right.
I really, really liked that. I liked the hook, Now and Then. I liked how that met with the music. I thought that was really good.
Right.
But the rest of it was, it's an unfinished product. It's kind of I don't want to say a boring song, the rest of it. But besides that hook, that's kind of all you have. You don't really have a fully fleshed out song, which I'm sure he was goofing around. He had something on tape, he recorded, never went back to it ever again.
Yeah.
And then he passed away, got killed. So my opinion is I'd have to listen to it a few more times before I can just say whether I just don't like it, I like it, I really like it. I think there's something to it.
Right.
I would have liked for it to be a little more fleshed out and see what they could have done with it.
Right.
I really like the music of it. But again, it was odd for me, at least, to hear what I believe, I could be very wrong, but I believe to be recorded music right now,
right,
with the demo, with the recording, with his voice and with his piano. It was weird to see that, because most Beatles songs, they were recorded 50, 60 years ago. So they have like a certain sound to it.
Right.
But I mean, it was pretty good.
Right.
I'm glad you liked it.
I do. I like when you're getting this, you get the cleaner, ballad voice. You can see the range in his voice, right?
Yeah,
and he's got
he does a really great
voice.
job in this song.
And maybe it's not as layered. Maybe that's what you mean, as far as like, you don't get a lot of the. I don't think you even get. Maybe you get them harmonizing in the back, or maybe that was just him dubbed over.
I think it was them.
But
I don't know.
To me, see, I'm not an expert like that when it comes to music, so I couldn't say that's a finished product. That's not a finished product. That's a finished product. I would put it out. Me personally, I would have put it out like, man, this is. Now I don't know what was there before, but I would put it out. And to me, I enjoyed that more than some of their earlier stuff. Now it's funny because somebody told me. And I want to say it was my son Trey, because he was talking about, he's come on now to Jay-Z. He used to hate Jay-Z. And I was like, oh, all right. And then I was like, wait a minute, I hated Jay-Z's first album too. Even though people today say it was a classic, at the time, because there were other artists that I enjoyed more, Tupac, Biggie, I was just like, this is all right. Like, it was good, but not compared to those other albums. And his music matured over time to the point where now I still think, other than Eminem, there's the only other person you could put up there. And I love Nas, but Jay-Z is probably the greatest rapper of all time. And he grew over the years. Same thing. I feel like the earlier Beatles stuff, think about 2-minute songs. Some of them don't even range a little over 2 minutes. It's so jingly, so poppy. To me, that is more like not immature, but what I was just say, that they haven't become full-fledged, in my opinion, artists. Their later stuff to me is much better. At least the While My Guitar Gently Weeps,
they definitely progress.
Here Comes the Sun. And I think that their older stuff is more mature, more, even this, it's subdued. It's very just, I don't know, it invokes more emotions. Not to say there's anything wrong with the earlier stuff, with the poppy 2 minutes, but that to me, that was like, oh, okay, this is more of a poppy. And I know people love the Beatles' early stuff.
I love all their stuff. I definitely love, I think it's, like you said, it's more fun, the earlier stuff. You said jingly, it's very catchy, extremely catchy, and you can just sing along to it. It's not too long. They definitely get seasoned. They definitely, evolve different ways. And they have crazier stuff like I Am the Walrus, Cuckoo Cuckoo. Like, I'm sure you've heard that song.
I've never heard that song. I heard about the I Am the Walrus because apparently that's another part of the conspiracy theories. The Sgt. Pepper album, that's where they dropped that's when they talk about, like, if you listen to the lyrics, I honestly think, even if it didn't happen, which again, I'm Mr. Conspiracy Theorist, but even I say to myself, they would have had to bribe so many people and kept so many mouths shut for it to happen.
Not just that, but this guy never told anybody.
There had to be evidence there. Now, with that being said, though, they trolled. I tell you, the Beatles might be the original trolls. Like, oh, okay, you guys want to say I'm dead? Here we go. Let me drop this hint. Let me do this. Let me do that. Let me do. Like, even there at the end. Oh, somebody talking at the end of a song. What caused that? And then, like, I gotta forward you that video. But then you're gonna be like, oh, this is it. But when you think about all the coincidences, they even put the name of the guy who everybody said replaced him or whatever. Like, little things like that. Like, in one album cover, he was known to be left-handed, right? But he's holding his cigarette in his right hand. And if you're right hand dominant, you probably focus right. Little things like that. But they must be the greatest trolls of all time. Like, oh, let's get them this way. Everybody else wears shoes. I'm not going to wear shoes. I'm going to do the one album cover. Everybody's looking there. I'm going to turn my back to it. And they were like, that same album,
I still
right?
don't understand how not wearing shoes is proof of it.
Supposedly in like Eastern cultures, like Asian cultures or whatever it was that they were exploring later on, that meant that it represented death or whatever. And in the one album where everybody's
they're trying to hide the fact this guy is Paul McCartney, even though if he's not, they're going to put the shoes off.
Bro, they're the ultimate
Either
trolls.
way, it makes no sense.
They're the ultimate
trolls. If he is
trolls.
the real Paul McCartney and they're being a troll, fine. But if he's not, you think they want to bring any clues to suggest that?
I think, to your point, it probably even more strengthens the fact that no, because why would they bring any attention to it? Why would you do anything different? Like, in the one album cover, maybe you know which one I'm talking about, let us know in the comments, where all three of them are facing him and then he's got his back to him and you can only see his back. Well, why wasn't he there? Why is he going to be the odd person out? Everybody's wearing like black tuxes, or he's wearing the white with the black flower, which represents death or whatever. Like, little things like, they are the ultimate trolls. If Paul McCartney, and more than likely you're right, he didn't die, they say, all right, you guys want to say I'm dead? No problem. Like, and I guess maybe it's to get back at the American media, because I didn't know it had become a big thing out here, to the point where, think about how disrespectful that is. If I invite your brother, who was also a musician in his own right and had his band, to come and making them think you're booking a gig on it was like Jay Leno tonight, not Jay Leno, but some show like that. And all they were there was to grill him about Paul McCartney being dead. And then he just finally got fed up and said, after being on the show and saying, no, he's alive, it's rumors, whatever, saying, so when's the last time you saw your brother? I guess at his funeral. Like, they got to the point where, like, I'm done with it. You know what I mean? Ultimate trolls, and maybe just to get back at people. Let us know your thoughts on it in a comment. I was very, like, even though I'm not the biggest Beatles fan, and I did enjoy the last song, I enjoyed this one. I know you didn't enjoy it as much, but I enjoyed this one. I enjoyed reading the comments, like, man, people are passionate about the Beatles. I was like, holy cow, wow. You know what I mean?
You're surprised by that? Let us know what you think about the new song. Let us know what you think about our reaction to it. Let us know what you think. I've read so many comments from the last time we brought this up, so I'm expecting a whole bunch of them. I know I'm going to be the most dumbest person for not believing it, but I don't believe it for a second. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time.
It's really that was Paula's dad backwards.
It's proven now.